Hey, Coach Matt Mangum, Hudson River Blue.
Hi,
Just
Matt.
honestly, first kind of thoughts on the game. Of course, a lot to take away with the team and thoughts on the result in the whole as a whole.
Just a little too short. That sums it all up. Just a little too short. But on the other hand, in an away game, starting against Miami, it's always a challenge. And I think my boys took on the challenge with a brave heart, and they were very courageous. Um, I think we controlled some parts of the game the way we wanted to, especially out of possession, even though they went down with one man. Um, but then again, it's always very sad to concede a late equalizer. Chris?
Hey, Coach, Chris Cameron from the outfield.
Hi,
I'm just
Chris.
curious as to your thoughts on each of the substitutions you made tonight. Just kind of wondering what your thought process was on for each of them.
Some of the guys were fatigued. That's quite obvious. Kevin was finished. The tank was empty. Alonso, the same. He did a tremendous job in playing in the area behind the defense of Miami. Maxi is coming back from a minor injury, so we have to keep him on board. Tana was on a yellow card, unfortunately, so I didn't want to take any risk of him getting sent off with a second one, because he was very close to the second one before we went into halftime. And yeah, then you saw the changes with Nico. I think it's quite clear. And Pepe is also one of the guys that needs the minutes in order to get closer to the team. Scott?
Hey, Coach, how are you? Scott Church and Streampunk Soccer. Thanks for the time.
Hi, Scott.
Uh, Talk, if you please, right after the red card, obviously you had the free kick and Mija's goal there. Talk a little bit about how big that was, especially falling down early. Thanks.
Good question. We conceded a sloppy goal from a corner kick against, so we were chasing the game, and I think one of the moments was a key moment in the first half was the attack and the build-up phase towards the red card for Miami. It was well played with a good triangles in midfield, and Maxi eventually found the player that was going behind the defense. We got the red card. And then the free kick was a good example of a player like Maxi who can read the play and has the instinct of to see where the areas are, so we can be very dangerous. And the free kick that he took was absolutely world class, because everybody was expecting a ball to go top corner, but he took it, and Micha was there to finish it. Anthony?
Hey, Coach. This is Anthony Merced with AJM Sports.
Hi.
This was a game that was always going to be very difficult considering the opposition. How do you feel about this team's personality, not just to come back from being down 1-0, but to respond the way that they did in that second half, go ahead and keep their composure in what seemed like a very long extra time period?
Miami is a good squad with good players, and going into this game, you're going to have a big challenge to deal with, and my boys did just that. Unfortunately, we got on the short end because we conceded a late equalizer. But even though with the man down, Miami is good enough to play good possession. They have good players. So for us, it was mainly being very well structured and disciplined, and challenge the moments that we have the ball, and go forward. And that's what we did, because even though they had the late equalizer, I think we had 2 or 3 moments that we should have played out more accurate in order to score the third goal. We'll go with Michael Allen.
Hey, Coach Michael Allen, Pro Soccer here. I'm just Miami enjoyed, most of the better possession even with a man down most of the night. But you seem to have some joy with Alonso springing out of the back line and sending balls over the top. Is that something you talked about going into the game, to sort of allow them to possess, but then try to spring Alonso over the top? And if so, can you talk about his play up there and scoring that
No,
goal?
not at all. We have our moments that we were good on the ball as well. But then again, if the areas become too big between the lines, they have the players that will find these spaces. And then playing at home, you also know that the moments will come when you intercept the balls to challenge them behind their defense, because that's where their weakness is. So sometimes we just allowed them to have the ball in order to have these spaces, and challenge them, because if you go back to the second goal, this is a good pressing situation on the opponent's half where we score the second goal. So it was a combination of several thoughts in order to be ready and have a good game management in order to get the points our way.
Final one, we'll go back to Chris.
Hey, Coach, Chris Cameron from the outfield again.
Chris.
Just curious on your assessment, at least initially, of the performance of Jonathan Shore and Cavallo. Both getting their first minutes with the club at this level, and then if there's the last goal there, if there's a learning moment there for the guys in terms of just take a professional foul. Just your thoughts. Thanks.
Yeah, well, you mentioned it just now. I think a professional foul would have been the best solution in this phase. You could see, unfortunately, Juli goes for a challenge and he goes down and he misses the ball, so they get the opportunity to speed up the attack. But overall, I'm very satisfied with the subs coming on. Pepe has come back from a long due injury. Johnny Shore, you mentioned, one of our youngsters. He performed really well during pre-season, so he earned his play time. And Nico has been tremendous in pre-season, so he's a good stand-in for Kevin, and that's what they showed. But it was also a great challenge for them to see how top players can manage a game like this. So this is what they have to take into the next game.
Great. Thank you, everybody.